Wind down. We are having a vending machine prosecco because I'm not a wine snob, and I didn't want to bring my wine from upstairs downstairs to the Frühstückraum here, where the owner of the hotel has been so gracious to let me have this space versus the darkness of our bedroom to shoot our spot today. So let's just have a little bit of this wonderful Sekt. And really, only in Europe can you expect decent prosecco out of a vending machine. It really is kind of nice. But when you are known for your wines, it makes everything so much better as we push through and we make this thing a go. It is really quite fascinating. So, I mean, they're not going to produce bad wine no matter what. It's a thing with them. And so I think it's really cool that you can always count on that. Kind of like the meat and the cheese. And if you're into bread, I mean, these people invented that stuff basically, right? And they perfected it all the way around from Easter to Christmas and all the stuff in between. It really is pretty cool being here. And you can always count on even a bottle of wine that costs you €5 is going to be fabulous by and large. It's when you get into those that are around the maybe €1.5 to €2 a bottle. It might be getting closer and closer to Night Train, but you know, it's really a pretty nice thing. Let's go ahead and pull up our grid. So again, my name is Christopher. I'm delighted you're here to help me solve this grid. I can tell you right now, tomorrow we'll be heading back to northern Bavaria, and so tomorrow's solve will be done in the studio and what we're accustomed to, and the sound will be better, and the video, everything should be back on par. But when we're out on the road like this, you know, and we explored Stuttgart today and it was beautiful, but when we're out on the road like this, it just makes it kind of difficult to bring along all the equipment. So it's basically a laptop and a camera, and here we go. But I appreciate everyone's patience. So let's go ahead and hop into our grid. We've got a Saturday, June 7th, construction by Blake Slonecker, and he's in here quite often, and it's certainly not the first Saturday that I remember from him, so can't tell you exactly. I don't really commit that to memory. It'd be difficult. Let's go ahead and hop in and see what we've got. Let me just adjust this so we can see what we're doing here. All right. That's close enough, I think, for now. So collect 1A. Natural process we all go through. How about aging? Because I'm thinking this might be a mass. So one of our community members, Jared, has suggested that what I do is on Monday, just don't talk at all. Just open up the grid and solve it as fast as I can. Why not? We'll try that once. It sounds kind of boring, but it sounds like a very fast video. Leave everything behind. I don't know. Make a new start of some. I don't know. Let's see. Assembles. Well, we've got enough room here for gathers together, so let's see what we've got. And it does fit. Make sure I didn't fat finger something along the way, because that would be just embarrassing. Leave everything behind. Maybe something like make a generational disconnects could be gaps. By definition, through the discourse community, right? So the blank Assyrian Empire, once the world's strongest military power, and that would be the Neo-Assyrian. So I think we do have a make a something, maybe a fresh start. You didn't fool me. So we get this K here. So I knew. So you didn't fool me. So I knew. Never ever. Maybe like at no point. What do we got here? Package filler. Could be foam. So maybe this is a fresh something. We've got room for a start. I say let's throw caution to the wind and put it in there anyway, and let's proceed to checking immediately, because we don't want to build too much on something. Fumes. What do we got here? Unprocessed. Could be raw, and therefore maybe stews. So that's fun. And let's see. Change seats. Fisher's collection for short. How about social security numbers? So at no point in time. No, I will spell that correctly though. So we got stews. Change seats. Baseball's Master Melvin. Melvin Ott. And again, that's just crosswordese. I mean, I don't know anything. I mean, I don't collect that kind of data on baseball. I don't follow like that. Board game variant used as a last resort tiebreaker. I have no idea. So, colorful knit top with Scottish origin. So that's that fair something. Isle sweaters. I don't know. Freaks out could be wigs. Corruption below deck, perhaps. Okay, but I think this is Fair Isle or something like that. So I'm assuming this is a Armageddon something. So this is clever, actually. Sofas being changed seats. Well, I was in college. That's how we ate dinner half the time, was collecting change out of a sofa to go to Taco Bell, right? So what is, the dollar menu. Oft repeated bit of onomatopoeia. Spiral shelled mollusks. Aren't those tritons or M-O, or is it A or an O here? I do not know. Infiltrators of a sort could be moles, and so I think maybe tritons. I don't know anything about mollusks really, other than blue and snow crab taste delicious. Once named nay. Okay, and likely lobby locale in DC would be K Street. So maybe our onomatopoeia is going to be a tisk. Tisk. I like that. Send-ups or satires, so makes haste highs. So I guess we have senile here, declining late in life. Well, if you make it that long, I think we're allowed a little senility. I mean, really, when you get right down to it. I'm telling you, this Prosecco is not bad at all. So, mature, ripe. So, but Jared asking me to do the grid without just going as fast as I can. I mean, I've been asked this a bunch, but I've never made the grid or this channel, this community about speed. I mean, I'm not a speed demon, I'm just not. And so there are people out there that solve Saturday level crosswords in competitions by hand, and huge too, on a whiteboard, right? And they're doing it with a dry erase marker, and they're getting it done in a couple of minutes, and I'm just not that guy. So I can't imagine. Finalizes, maybe sews up here. So you didn't fool me. How about I knew it all along? I think we've got enough room for it, but I need to spell that correctly. Typing with one hand is not the easiest thing for me. I knew it all along. So some concerning forecasts and weather speak, maybe T-storms, could be. Yahoo rival, wow, that's a blast from the past. MSN, is that even still around? I don't know. First Muppet to appear on the Billboard Hot 100, and I don't know either, but I'm assuming Ernie. Annoyance in the middle of a season, perhaps. How about a spoiler? Maybe a season of shows on your favorite streaming. So, I mean, really. Coffee rings could be stains. So what do we got here? Shortening for bakers. So maybe a teaspoon. So maybe polling is our campaign activity. Spanish city that's home to the Alhambra, and that I think is Granada. I don't know if we've been there or not, to be honest with you. We kind of took a whirlwind tour of southern Spain last August, and we drive everywhere here in Europe. And honestly, I don't know. We've got pictures, and the only reason we have pictures is because my Shotzi takes those pictures. I never take a picture. I'm so thankful she goes out of her way to tag me in the pictures that she posts, because let's see, pike, for example. We got this R, so I'm going to go with a route, or root, depending on how you pronounce it. I don't even know how I should pronounce it, to be honest with you. Directive in many a stovetop recipe could be to sear. NL East rival of NYM, maybe Atlanta. So triangular bones that fuse in adulthood, and these would be the sacra, like junior mints and raisinettes. So looks like we got chocolate here. It's gonna be chocolate covered. I couldn't tell you for sure, but we can go to checking it. Top suit could be the CEO, and one side in ancient Greece's battle of the 300 champions, maybe Argos takes the field. Bare bottom. What a retrospective aims to produce, maybe renewed, I don't know, renewed interest. You can try it. Seems like that seems to be the goal. It seems like that seems to be the goal. Well, that's really doesn't sound good when I say it that way. Leaves aside pile, Medicare component. Well, parts something. I know we got 1,000 different parts. A, B, C, what? Leaves aside. Yeah, I think we got a pile there. So this is fun. Bare bottom. I mean, maybe minimum. Maybe. Beef cut in Santa Maria style barbecue. Longtime animated TV character who hasn't had a speaking role since 2017. And I think that's Apu from The Simpsons. So maybe the tri-tip. I don't know. I honestly never heard of it. Restaurant option that lacks options. Restaurant option that lacks options. Okay, maybe a set menu. Never heard of that either. I'm just using context clues here, and that's kind of funny. Stops digging. Channel could be a duct. You know, what one of the letters in the luxury conglomerate Louis Vuitton, Moet, Hermes stands for? So, Moet. Chocolate covered. No, that's not going to work. Chocolate something. Chocolate coated? Because I think this is ARO. Core location could be the torso. Yeah. So, yeah, I think this is a Fair Isle sweater. And this is the kind of grid that's just begging for me to fat finger something or to not check it. I better really check this solidly. Better sound through research brand, and that would be Bose. And I was a big believer in Bose, and I'm still very impressed with it. But I got to be honest with you, the beats from Dr. Dre, man, boy, that's just a great sound. We've also got a big Sony Bluetooth speaker that can float in water and all kinds of stuff, and it's pretty darn nice too. Corruption below deck, perhaps. I mean, we got the mutiny on the Bounty here. What's going on? Doozy. Oh yeah, she's a real beaut there, Clark. Try Butte. I hope I spelled that right. When was the last time you spelled Butte? I don't know. One's parents in modern slang, and I know because my princess always refers to us as the olds. I'm like, am I really old? Maybe so. I don't feel like it, though. R in Spanish. How about son? So, got by, maybe made do. So, in-network group. How about an HMO, and so stops digging. Maybe sours on. So this could be wood rot. That is corruption if I ever heard of it. Gown, go with town. Town gown, gown town. I mean, I guess I don't know what that is either. Board game variant used as a last resort tiebreaker. I don't know. Maybe this is Armageddon Chess. Never heard of it. Wow. If these lined up just right, I would have been done in here today. Well, I hope I haven't fat fingered something. I guess lighting, sound production, etc. is the tech. couldn't not, maybe had to, and an aha moment. Well, let's hope that we got this right. Otherwise, we'll be hunting. Maybe you had to. How do we do, Bob? I feel like we're really fortunate to have gotten that done without any incidents. That's, but I think on the whole, we had a pretty well done puzzle. I don't think we had a whole lot that was really challenging per se, but we had a whole lot in here I'd never heard of before. I've never heard of Armageddon chess. I've heard of a Fair Isle sweater. In fact, I've got a couple of them. I just couldn't remember what it was supposed to be. I always refer to my Britishese. I always like to call them jumpers, even though I know in Yank speak that means I'm wearing a onesie or something, right? You know, like a child. But I do like the way the British refer to, you know, a pullover is a jumper. A jumper. I like your jumper today, Christopher. Thank you. So it's always kind of nice. But yeah, Armageddon chess, I had no idea what that was. I guess I wouldn't have understood Sours on and digging. I don't know what that. I don't get that at all. There was quite a few in here though. Let's see, renewed interest, torso. There were a couple that I just was not aware of, and so that was kind of an interesting process. But on the whole, fantastic. Wasn't sure about the mollusks. I knew they were tritons, but I didn't know how to spell it, and I wasn't sure about Granada at all, and though I do believe I think I've been there. The tri-tip, or tree tip, I think it's probably tri-tip. That was a new one as well. I'd never heard of a set menu. I don't even know what kind of restaurant that would be. I mean, in other words, we're just cooking one thing, and if you want to come eat it, that's what we're doing. I mean, that sounds like it'd be a pretty easy way to go about doing a restaurant, right? So, yeah, I got to give them credit on that one. But on the whole, these long ones here were really kind of, it's exactly what you would have thought, you know, gathers together. I knew it all along. Make a fresh start at no point in time, right? You know, it seems like I've heard these things. Like I'll come up with an idea and I'll say, hey, Chauncey, how about we do A, B, C? And she'll be like, maybe D, E, F, maybe X, Y, Z, but at no point in time am I interested in doing A, B, C. And then I'm like, oh, I didn't want to either. I was just seeing if you did. You know, renewed interest was good. I got a little hemmed up on the Fair Isle sweater, and I'd never heard of Armageddon chess, but otherwise it was a fantastic grid. So well done today, Blake Slonecker. And speaking of Neckar, we are about a 13-minute drive from the Neckar River, and that is actually the river that flows through my mother's hometown of Heidelberg, and Heidelberg is where my family, my German family, still live to this day, all of them. So really a well-educated group of folks, right? I've got cousins who, sales directors, and architects, in fact, a professor of architecture at the University of Heidelberg. I've got one who's a research scientist with a PhD in in fact, he's biochemistry or biology, sociologists and stuff. They're a very interesting group of people. I love being around them. So it is nice to be here and be home and to kind of connect with my roots as I've been here now going on 6 years. So really pretty cool. But anyway, so we'll take our vending machine Prosecco and we'll say until next time. Ich wünsche Ihnen einen schönen Tag noch. Auf Wiedersehen. Tschüss. Servus. Grüß Gott. Ciao. Cin-Cin. Bis später. Bis morgen. Bis dann. And we will see you tomorrow from the studio back in northern Bavaria, and everything will be back to the way it's supposed to be. Maybe all will be right in the world at that point. Until then, be well out there. Take care of yourselves and do your level best to be nice to strangers if at all possible. Cheers. Be well.